excuse, but then again, if you actually know what you're talking about, it's actually really asinine as well. There being no stars is quite simple, and it actually goes back to the actual ability of the cameras themselves. As we know today, cameras are very, very high-tech, as mine, and the cameras back then are actually very, very poor quality. Mainly for one reason, they had to be able to work in extreme cold temperatures and without any pressure whatsoever. So take it by that fact, your camera really has to be basic, and I mean not like extremely basic. I mean, if you look at them, they're in this huge casing and very, very primitive cameras. And just by the exposure settings of the cameras, you get sort of, if you have something really, really finite, like a really like 1 pixel surrounded by the exact opposite, as we know, the 1 pixel would be the star and the surrounding pixels would be the blackness, it all blends together. That's why it's very hard to get, defined straight pinstripe lines. 5. Shadows on the ground and light on the people. I saw this one video clip of shadows that were on the ground, and they were in different directions. And of course, they use this as an excuse. There are multiple stage lights on the stage that are filming it. And then also, there is light on the people when they step into a shadow. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate this just using a lamp and my room. Alright, so now I'm here in the darkest room of the house, which is actually the double door bathroom. Should we close that? I'm going to fill the edges of the whole entire room and all the door seams, so you can actually see how much light's getting in here. So there's the bottom of the door. That is pretty much the only light source that's coming in here. There is really nothing else. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using this actual rug as the lunar surface, because it actually resembles the lunar surface a lot. So put the camera down like this. Alright. I'm going to turn the lights off. Alright, so now this is basically what the whole entire lunar surface is. I'm just going to sit down. And now my flashlight is actually going to be the sun. So here we have the sun, and it is pointing right here. Of course, it's just about right above the camera. And I'm going to put my hand here. Now this is going to resemble a lunar module. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move the sun 90 degrees. So it is actually pointing right there. And I'm going to put my hand right down. As you can see, the shadow is right there, but actually, I believe the sun is actually more of an angle like this. So now, as you can see, the shadow is extremely dark and defined. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bottle cap right here. I'm going to try and create a shadow on it. So as you can see, there is still the bottle cap. Now I'm going to move it again another 90 degrees. So here's the sun, and then here's the dark shadow. This is just about the same dark shadow, but as you can see, you can still see the bottle cap. This is because there's light reflecting off of everything, because the lunar surface is not black. So as you can see, you can always see it. So there you go. There's another proof as to why the excuse there are shadows on the moon is stupid. Alright, now that you saw, that was with one single light. Now this is going to be answering the question about multiple shadows. So now I have 2 flashlights. The one I was using before is this one. As you can see, it only has 1 light source, as you were seeing on there. But my other one actually has little holes on the side. As you can see when I turn it on, it actually does that. It has little mirrors. So it actually has 4 independent lights, or what it looks like. And this actually creates 4 shadows. So I'm going to be doing a little demonstration with that right here. As you can see, I do not have my tripod. Alright, so now here's the flashlight. I'm going to put my hand in front of it. And as you can see, there are multiple shadows. as I even bring it closer. As you can see, my finger is not defined, but with the other flashlight, this one is very defined. This is very key. So this will represent our multiple light sources. So again, we're going to put this on the ground. We're going to use our bottle cap. And actually, let's use something bigger. Let's use a hydrogen peroxide bottle. Alright, so now let's go and let's turn off this light. Alright, so now it's pretty much dark in here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to light up our single light, as you can see on the wall, and we're going to cast a shadow on this. I'm going to film this as well. Alright, so now here's our single shadow, as you can see. Now, let's open it up and let's use the one with the multiple lights. As you can see, it's pretty much the same thing. But you know what? I'm not happy. I want to use two actually different light flashlights. So I'm going to put my first one right here. Try to balance it. Alright, so there's the first flashlight, and I'm going to light up the second one. Now this is what it would actually look like with two independent lights. Now people are saying there are stage lights and there are multiple shadows on the ground. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to try and recreate that. So let's just say I'm just picking some bottles from up here. So now here are two. Now here would be two. So there's one, as you can see, there's a shadow right here and right here. This is from the hydrogen peroxide and the orange aerosol can. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to light up a second light. Now as you can see, the shadows are extremely disordered and there's multiple shadows, but then again, each bottle has two shadows, not just one shadow. This is very important because in all of the photos, every single object has one shadow. Also, another one is that the shadows are not parallel. As you can see, here's one shadow coming this way, and here's another shadow coming this way. This is called perspective. This is used in art and painting. And yet again, there's only one light source. Let me turn this one off. You see? Two shadows, and they are not parallel. As you can see, this one is still coming off in this direction, and this one is still coming off in this direction. And no matter which way they look, they will never be parallel. So as you can see, there's only one light source being used in all of the videos, and that is completely asinine to say that there are two, because two light sources would completely create multiple, even more shadows than just one object. And each object only has one shadow in all of the videos. Alright. So now number 6 are the voices and the noises. No, that rhymed. I actually have a very good example for this. Again, this also involves insulation and, of course, what we've been using the whole entire time, atmosphere. As you know, sound travels through air and is actually compressions and rarefactions. So it's actually sound waves of compressions and rarefactions. This is if you would take a physics class, and you would understand this. But if there is no medium as air for the sound to travel, and it actually cannot travel at all. This is why all of the cameras, if they actually did have audio, it would only be like vibrations. You would actually not hear any noises like a rocket engine, and that's also why in all of the videos there's only the astronauts' voices, not the actual rocket landing. And actually I have a very good example, and this is actually my diesel truck. So actually I'm going to be able to do this very well. So let's go outside and let's listen to some noises. Alright, so there it is. Proof that actually is a diesel engine. And actually by the actual noise of it, if you are smart enough. So here we go. Also, diesel fuel only, and you will actually see the glow plug. It's actually going to light up right there, the little coil. Gasoline engines do not have it, they do not have diesel fuel, but then again, a conspiracist will say that I actually put that in there just for the video. Alright, so now we're inside and we're going to start it up. Alright, so now this is basically inside of the car. Now, listen to the noise difference when I open up the door.